The first contact. The Pathfinder drifted silently through the star-studded void, its hull scarred from years of exploration and skirmishes at the edge of known space. Commander Ilara Hayes gazed out at the swirling blue planet below, a world marked by the signs of conflict. Smoke plumed from shattered cities, and vast craters scarred the surface. They had stumbled upon a war zone, far from humanity's borders. The ship's sensors had detected faint life signs. A distress beacon pulsed weakly from a small colony on the planet's eastern continent. "Commander," her science officer called out, "we're picking up multiple hostile craft in orbit. It looks like the colony is under siege." Ilara clenched her jaw. Her orders were to avoid entanglement in alien conflicts, but something about the distress call stirred her conscience. This was more than a strategic calculation, it was a test of humanity's spirit. "Prepare the landing party," Ilara commanded. "We're going down." The shuttle shuddered as it pierced the planet's atmosphere, dodging plasma fire from sleek, insectoid fighters. The colony was a shattered network of domes and makeshift barricades. Alien civilians, tall, slender beings with pale green skin and luminous eyes, ran between shelters, terrified but defiant. Their attackers were ruthless, advanced machines piloted remotely by an unknown enemy. The aliens called them the Kreth, a marauding force that had ravaged multiple star systems. The colony's defenders were outgunned, outnumbered, and on the brink of annihilation. Ilara's team landed amidst the chaos. The humans had no large weapons, only a few pulse rifles and portable shields, but they had something the Kreth did not: unyielding determination and improvisational skill. "Help us!" cried a tall alien named Viral, stepping forward. His voice was melodic yet strained with exhaustion. "Your species saved us before. We hoped you would return." Ilara blinked in surprise. "Saved you?" Viral nodded. "Years ago, your explorers came to this system. You gave us hope, technology, and most importantly, courage." The memory surfaced. A previous mission, nearly a decade earlier, had aided this colony during their first Kreth invasion. At the time, humanity was weak, barely able to hold its own in interstellar politics. But they had risked everything to help these aliens, sharing vital energy shields and weapon designs. Ilara felt a surge of pride. "Then we won't abandon you now." The humans moved swiftly, coordinating with the alien defenders to set traps and establish defensive perimeters. Using their portable shield generators, they formed moving barriers that deflected Kreth plasma blasts. The aliens provided tactical data and field repairs, creating a seamless partnership. Despite their modest numbers, the human and alien forces pushed back the Kreth attackers. Ilara personally led a daring strike team to disable a Kreth command drone, disrupting enemy coordination. The tide of battle turned. Hours later, as the last Kreth vessel retreated in smoke and flame, the colony erupted in cheers. Exhausted but victorious, Ilara met Viral once more beneath the shattered remains of a communication tower. "You risked your lives for us," Viral said, voice thick with emotion. "In our language, there is a word for such honor. It means, unbreakable bond. You have forged that bond with us." Ilara smiled. "Humanity remembers who stands with us. When we help others, we become stronger, together." Before leaving the planet, the humans handed over blueprints for advanced shield emitters and shared tactical knowledge. The aliens pledged their eternal gratitude and promised to stand with humanity should the need ever arise. As the Pathfinder lifted off, Ilara looked back at the colony, no longer a broken outpost, but a symbol of resilience born from unity. The stars awaited, and somewhere out there, an unbreakable bond had been forged. Years of silence. Decades had passed since the Pathfinder first descended to the blue planet, turning the tide for the alien colony. Earth had changed dramatically in that time. Humanity had expanded beyond the solar system, planting colonies on distant worlds and building a formidable fleet of starships. Advances in technology had transformed exploration and warfare alike, but the memory of that one act of aid remained a quiet beacon in humanity's vast history. Commander Ilara Hayes was long retired, her name etched into the annals of space exploration. Her granddaughter, Captain Erin Hayes, stood on the bridge of the Vigilant, a sleek, heavily armed warship and one of the pride of Earth's interstellar defense fleet. Erin studied the holographic map projected before her. Their current mission was routine patrol near the fringe of human-claimed space, but she couldn't shake the sense that the galaxy was growing darker. Hostile factions, the aggressive Zarnath and the merciless Kreth, were pushing closer to human borders. "Captain," her communications officer announced, "there's no word from the Clishan system for over a decade." Aaron frowned. The Clishan system was where the blue planet from the Pathfinder's mission was located. The colony that humans had saved all those years ago. Since then, it had fallen silent. No distress calls, no diplomatic transmissions. "Try again," Aaron ordered. "We need to know what's happening there." The ship's AI worked tirelessly to reach the system, but silence remained. The void between stars was deafening. Later, in her quarters, Aaron sat staring at an old holo recording, a speech her grandmother had given years ago, speaking of the unbreakable bond formed with the Clishans. It was a reminder of what humanity was capable of the promise they had made to an alien race in need. "Why no reply?" she whispered to herself. Her thoughts were interrupted by a knock. Lieutenant Jensen, her tactical officer, stepped inside. "Captain, we've detected unusual activity near the Clishan system." Sensors picked up energy signatures consistent with large starships. Aaron's heart quickened. Could it be the Clishans? After all these years? "Plot a course," she said firmly. "Full speed. Let's find out." As the Vigilant surged through space, Aaron reflected on the growth humanity had experienced in the past decades. Once fragile and divided, Earth's nations had united under a common goal: survival and expansion among the stars. New propulsion systems, energy weapons, and AI-driven tactics had propelled human fleets to the forefront of interstellar power. Yet, despite these advancements, humanity was still not invincible. The galaxy was a harsh place. The Kreth remained a persistent threat, their relentless raids forcing alliances and constant vigilance. The other alien factions were equally wary, and often hostile. But somewhere in the distance, Aaron hoped, was an old friend, an ally waiting to be rediscovered. As the Vigilant approached the Clishan system, sensors revealed a thriving planet below, cloaked in shimmering shield arrays and buzzing with activity. Large starships, unlike anything Earth had built, orbited the planet in tight formation. "Captain," Jensen said, "these vessels are not hostile. They're scanning us, but their energy signatures indicate advanced technology, far beyond what we expected." Aaron felt a mixture of relief and curiosity. "Open a channel. Let's see if they remember us." Static filled the bridge before a voice came through, clear, calm, and unmistakably alien. "This is Commander Viral of the Clishan Defense Fleet. We have watched your progress, Captain Aaron Hayes. Your species did not abandon us, as you promised. Now, in our time of need, we stand ready to repay your kindness." Aaron's eyes widened. The years of silence had ended with a powerful promise. "Commander Viral," she replied, "humanity stands ready to aid you as it always has. Tell us what threatens your world." Viral's tone darkened. "A new enemy, one we cannot face alone. The Kreth have returned, and with greater force. But this time, we have an ally in you." As the channel closed, Aaron felt the weight of responsibility settle on her shoulders. This was no longer just a rescue mission. It was the rekindling of an ancient bond, the beginning of a new alliance. The Vigilant and the Clishan fleet prepared to join forces, two species united by history, standing together against a common threat. In the cold silence of space, the echoes of the past had finally spoken. Humanity's act of courage and compassion had not been forgotten. The call. The Vigilant cut through the blackness of space, its engines humming steadily as it closed the distance to the Clishan system. Captain Aaron Hayes stood at the bridge's command console, eyes sharp and mind racing. 4 years, the silence from the Clishans had gnawed at her. Now, their voice over the comms was a lifeline, one that pulled humanity back into a war far beyond their own borders. Reports from the Clishan fleet painted a grim picture. The Kreth, relentless and merciless, had returned in force, their armada vast and equipped with new technologies that threatened not just the colony but the entire system. Aaron studied the holographic star map projected above the console. Swarming red blips surrounded the Clishan homeworld. The enemy was overwhelming. Their forces outnumbered the combined human and Clishan ships by at least 3 to 1. "Lieutenant Jensen, run a comparative analysis of our fleet's strengths versus the Kreth armada," Aaron ordered. The tactical officer's fingers flew over his console. "Our ships are fast and maneuverable, with advanced AI targeting and energy shields, but the Kretha's numbers and raw firepower are intimidating. They've adapted to our previous tactics. This will be a brutal fight. Erin nodded grimly. Then we'll have to be smarter. She turned to her comm officer. Send a message to Earth Command. Request reinforcements and support ships from nearby colonies. This battle will not be won by strength alone. The bridge was tense but alive with controlled urgency. Every crew member knew the stakes. When the Vigilant finally reached the Clishan homeworld's orbit, the scale of the alien fleet became clear. Sleek ships with bioluminescent hulls and intricate designs swarmed the planet's defenses. They moved with a precision that bespoke centuries of evolution and adaptation. Commander Viral hailed the Vigilant again. Captain Hayes, the Clishan defense fleet awaits your command. Our weapon systems are powerful, but our tactics rely on tight formations and adaptive shielding. We will need your human ingenuity to counter the Kretha's overwhelming assault. Erin smiled. That's exactly why we're here. Let's combine your strengths with our innovation. Over the next hours, human and Clishan officers collaborated intensely, sharing tactics and integrating their technologies. Engineers worked to retrofit human ships with alien shield emitters, while Clishan pilots trained alongside human gunners to understand their new strategies. Despite cultural differences, a shared purpose forged a bond between the crews. They were no longer separate species, they were a single force. The battle began with a deafening roar of energy blasts and the eerie silence of space punctuated by explosions. The Kreth Armada advanced relentlessly, launching wave after wave of fighters and capital ships. The Joint Fleet responded with coordinated strikes. Human AI-controlled drones intercepted enemy missiles, while Clishan cruisers unleashed devastating energy beams. The Vigilant danced through the chaos, its captain directing precision attacks on the Kretha's command ships. "Captain," Jensen reported, "we've identified the Kreth flagship. It's heavily shielded but vulnerable at the rear." Erin's eyes sharpened. "Prepare a strike team. We're going in." The Vigilant and a small squadron of Clishan fighters broke from the main fleet, weaving through plasma fire and dodging debris. Erin led the charge, her pulse rifle ready as they boarded the Kreth flagship using cutting-edge teleportation pods. Inside, the ship was a labyrinth of cold metal corridors and flickering lights. The Kreth were alien in appearance, twisted forms of machinery and organic tissue, their movements jerky but purposeful. The boarding party fought fiercely, disabling the flagship's core systems. Erin planted explosives at critical nodes, their countdown synchronized with the larger fleet assault. Back in orbit, the Joint Fleet seized the moment. Shields flared and weapons blazed, striking the flagship's exposed rear. Seconds later, the ship exploded in a spectacular fireball that illuminated the dark void. With the flagship destroyed, Kreth morale shattered. Their forces began to retreat in disarray. Commander Viral hailed the Vigilant again, his voice triumphant. "Captain Hayes, your bravery and strategy have turned the tide. The Clishans will never forget your aid." Erin allowed herself a brief smile. "It was a team effort, Commander. Humanity's strength is in standing together." As the battle faded, the combined fleets regrouped. The victory was hard-won, but it marked a new chapter, not just in this war, but in the alliance between two species. Far from home, in the silent depths of space, a promise made years ago had been answered. The fleet's answer. The battle had been fierce, but victory was now within reach. Captain Erin Hayes stood on the bridge of the Vigilant, watching the combined human-Clishan fleet regroup in the orbit of the Clishan homeworld. The once-distant alliance had become a living, breathing force, unified in purpose and strength. Around them, the stars glittered cold and indifferent, but here, amid ships of vastly different design and origin, hope burned bright. Commander Viral's flagship hovered nearby, its graceful hull shimmering with alien energy fields. Erin exchanged a nod with Viral over the comms. "We've come far, Commander. What's the plan for the final assault?" Viral's voice was steady, confident. "The Kreth are retreating, but their forces still hold the outer systems. If we don't finish this now, they'll regroup and return stronger. We must strike their command hub." Erin nodded. "Agreed. Let's combine our fleets and end this." The task force assembled quickly. Hundreds of ships formed a vast spearhead aimed at the heart of Kreth territory. Human frigates and destroyers flanked the towering Clishan dreadnoughts, each ship's crew ready for the decisive battle. Erin took her position at the center of the formation aboard the Vigilant. All hands, prepare for engagement. This is our moment. As they crossed into enemy space, alarms blared and red warning lights pulsed. The Kreth had expected their attack but underestimated the unity and resolve of the Allied fleet. The void exploded with fire. Energy beams lanced through the darkness, shields flared, and missiles streaked past. Erin's ship weaved expertly, the crew responding with flawless precision. Beside her, Clishan ships unleashed plasma torrents that carved through Kreth defenses. The humans deployed advanced electronic warfare suites, scrambling enemy sensors and communications. It was a perfect blend of alien power and human innovation. "Captain," Jensen called out, "the Kreth command hub is heavily fortified, shielded by a planetary defense grid. Our ships won't break through without a ground assault." Erin considered the options. "Then we take it to their doorstep." She ordered the preparation of a boarding force, combining human marines and Clishan warriors. Using stealth transports equipped with cloaking fields, the assault team would infiltrate the command hub's surface base. The operation was risky. The command hub was a fortress, guarded by Kreth troops and automated defenses. But failure meant the Kreth would continue their devastation unchecked. As the boarding party descended to the surface, Erin led the strike team personally, determined to see the mission through. The transports slipped past orbital defenses, landing near the command center under the cover of darkness. Inside, the ground battle was brutal. The Marines fought with tenacity, their pulse rifles blazing, while Clishan warriors wielded energy blades and unique alien weaponry that stunned and disabled enemy soldiers. The bond forged in space now extended to the battlefield. Erin pushed forward, her team breaching the command core. Explosives were set, timers synced with the fleet's orbital assault. "Move out," she commanded as alarms blared and Kreth forces swarmed. Back in orbit, the fleet capitalized on the chaos. The combined human-Clishan fleet overwhelmed the command hub's outer defenses, smashing through the planetary shield generators. Seconds before detonation, the boarding team evacuated as the command hub erupted in a massive explosion, sending shockwaves through the Kreth lines. The enemy fleet's cohesion shattered. With their command structure destroyed, the Kreth forces retreated in disarray, pursued by Allied ships cutting off escape routes. The victory was decisive. As silence returned, Erin stood on the Vigilance bridge, breathing deeply. Around her, the fleet celebrated quietly, no fanfare, only the solemn acknowledgement of hard-won peace. A message from Commander Viral broke the quiet. "Captain Hayes, today you and your crew did more than fight a battle. You reminded us all of the power of trust and solidarity. The bond between our peoples is unbreakable." Erin smiled, eyes shining with pride. "It's more than a bond, Commander. It's a promise that kindness and courage can change the course of history." She gazed out at the stars, feeling the weight of their shared future. Years ago, humanity had reached out with open hands. Now, an entire fleet had answered the call. The war was over, for now. But in the vast, endless expanse of space, the Alliance stood ready. Together, humans and Clishans would face whatever came next. Because they were stronger united. Because they were more than allies, they were family.